Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Tassie Care Valley Road for this Women's Super League Round 18 fixture between the Devonport Strikers and Riverside Olympic. Thanks for joining us on this Football Tasmania coverage. My name is Camille Douglas and we're bringing you all the action from the game today. And there are afternoons in a football season when the prize still feels distant, something to chase, something to dream about. And then there are afternoons like this. And today the Devonport Strikers stand on the threshold of a championship. They've set the pace in the Women's Super League. They sit proudly at the top of the table. And now the equation could hardly be simpler. Win today and the title is theirs. Riverside Olympic arrive with other ideas. They may not have silverware in their sights, but they have an opportunity to delay a celebration. And there are a few things more dangerous in football than a side with nothing to lose and somebody's party to spoil. For Devonport, months of work have been distilled into 90 minutes. A season of victories, pressure and expectation has brought them here, within touching distance of the trophy, with games still to spare. The champagne may be waiting, celebrations may be planned, but first there is a football match to win. Devonport Strikers, Riverside Olympic, the championship's within reach, and it could be won right here today. I'll just run you through both sides. For the Devonport Strikers, Michaela Mitchell is in goal. There's number 2, Tully Park, 7, Maddie Payne, 9, Jasmine White, 10, the skipper, Lucy Fort, 11, Annabelle Wiley, 12, Abby White, 13, Nana Biera, 14, Uskadoy, 21, Grace Sims, and 25, Holly Emmett. On the bench for Devonport is 8, Matthews, 19, Sullivan, 22, Smith, 24, Matthews, and 28, Gale. For the visitors, Riverside Olympic in goals is Monica Hernandez. The skipper, number 2, Meg Connolly. Number 4, Zahara Bramall. 5, Eva Fidel. 7, Louise Sorman. 8, Daisy Barbo. 12, Skylar Higgins. 15, Kathleen Fuller. 19, Katie Campbell. 20, Hannah Connolly. And 21, Estelle Tompkinson. And on the bench, just the one player, Jasmine Blanche. A couple of changes for both sides. For the Devonport Strikers, Whitney Knight and Isabella Atkinson go out. Maddie Payne and Uskadoy come in. And for Riverside Olympic, Blanche and Brewster come out of the starting lineup. And Fidel and Bramall come in. And we are underway at Valley Road on a day where the Devonport Strikers could seal the championship. Riverside taking the early initiative. The pass errant, the ball bounces, played forward by Fidel, tied it up at the back by Emmett, and Mitchell goes long up the pitch, headed away, out of play. Devonport Strikers throw early on here. Devonport Strikers last week bounced back after a defeat to Glenorchy Knights the week before, their first defeat in nearly 3 seasons of football. And they made Launceston City pay last week in 9-0 victory. For the Riverside Olympic, they suffered a 3-0 defeat at the hands of local rivals Launceston United. Ball played forward, Wiley. And out of play will be a throw for the Riverside Olympic. And that one turns over to Devonport. Payne looking to slip in Adoy or White, not quite on that occasion. And the switch there from Olympic. Up the line from Barber. An errant pass. Bier, a throw in. Down to the feet of Uskadoy, last season's Player of the Year, Women's Super League best and fairest, the leading goal scorer and Golden Boot winner. And this year, one could argue it will again be a player from the Devonport Strikers after their successful season. And none have been better than Jasmine White this year. Has put away 26 goals, some 6 clear of her nearest rival. Looks all but set to take the Golden Boot and will certainly be many people's favourite for the best and fairest in September. Inside to Abby White. Turned over. Play forward by Higgins. To Park. Park goes back to Mitchell. Mitchell longer up the middle to Payne, who finds a pocket of space. He's allowed to turn and slips it to White. This could be Devonport's first chance on goal. Well read in goals by Hernandez. Keeper sweeper style. Plays it up the ground. Then longer from Sorman. Picked up by Mitchell. This one longer and just doing enough there. Connolly. White then to Doy. Sims going past her. Payne looking to play it in behind. Once again, Connolly clearing. Turned over. Pierre to Doy. Doy has Sims to her left. Tackled by Barber. Sims still with it. To Doy. Comes back to White. A linchpin in the midfield. She has a chance to shoot from distance. Shoots low. Ricochets. Foot stronger. Wrestles. Loses out. Comes to Emmett. Playing at fullback today. White again. And it couldn't quite get the ball to foot there. Not quite on the same wavelength. Uskadoy to Payne. Looking to shift past the defender. Defender read it. Doy. And Devonport, as many expected here today, taking the initiative in this one. Foot forward. And Hernandez gathers. Hernandez up towards the halfway line. Foot traps. Payne again with a pocket of space. She shoots from range, but on that occasion didn't quite get hold of it. And the kind of ambitious attempt that fans and supporters like to see, but which drives coaches crazy. One down by Briere, then White looking for Sims, has pace, gets past Barber into the box. White favoured, and Jasmine White, her 27th for the season. And the Devonport Strikers put the first of the nails in at the coffin of this match and of the Super League season. It's taken them until this 5th minute to get on the score sheet. A beautiful bit of play, beautiful bit of build-up. Slipping in behind Sims, using her pace, and then cutting it back to White, who, as ever, finds herself in the right place at the right time. Intelligent runs in the box, which is why she has been, for some period of time, the best poacher, the best finisher in the game. And evidence once more of that, making no mistake with the finish. Sorman. Set up the line. Now with White. Back to Foot, overlapping Emmett. Galloping run down the wing. Cutting inside into the 18-yard box towards the near post. Ball's gone out of play. Linesman is flagged. It will be a goal kick. In the direction of Sorman. Wiley battles with her. Back up the line to Wiley. White further on down the line. And across to deal with that one was Tompkinson. And it comes back to Wiley. Still space down the line. No one made the run there as such yet. Now they've worked it out though. Triangles the Devonport Strikers. Wiley advancing from centre back. Skips past the tackle into the box. Near post. Hits Doy's defender. Doy back to Wiley. Chipping to the penalty spot. Abby White there. Brings it down. But Riverside will clear away. Haven't cleared danger yet, Riverside, and they've got themselves into a bit of trouble. Jasmine White Down the wing, cuts into the box. Is this another goal for Devonport on the offing? No. Fuller. And that one will be out for a corner. First corner of the game for the Devonport Strikers. Skadoy stands over this one. 8 goals in the season for Doy. Beautiful ball into the box. And Abby White just couldn't get over the header to challenge Hernandez. Another warning shot across the bows of the Glenorchy Knights goal. Riverside Olympic goal. And is in the direction of Sorman once more. Headed down, couldn't be controlled by Higgins. One of the goal scorers for Riverside Olympic this year. Higgins having scored twice this season. Payne spins, drives into the box, gets it in the direction of Doy and Sims. Cleared away. Fidel couldn't get it under her spell. Then White. Now Piera. Drives it into the box. Flicked away by Tompkinson. And another corner for the Devonport Strikers. Their second. Doy will wander over to take. Jasmine White now with 27 for the season. As I mentioned, Doy has 8. Whitney Knight for Devonport also has 8. Foot has 6. This one chipped into the box. White still wins, cleared away. Into space. And Emmett touching around Bramwell well there. Fires into the box. Payne looks set to score. Left it. Doy shots and kept out by Hernandez. A terrific ball into the box. And I was certain Payne was in the right spot to tuck that home. Must have just skipped past her. The chance still fell to Doy at a tough angle. Her low shot toward the near post was dealt with. But now she has the third corner for the Devonport Strikers. This one dinked into the box again. White favoured, and again White wins. But again, White couldn't direct it goalward. And that goal kick hits Campbell and goes out of play. Sims wrestles with Barber. Into the box and caught by Hernandez. And long, and a chance for Riverside Olympic to push up, get their players up towards the halfway line, get Devonport out of their attacking half. It has been all Devonport so far. Here's a chance for Riverside. Can they press? Can they win it high? Can they manufacture a chance? But Devonport have played out. Fatal can't get to the out of there, and they come through the animus of Payne. Slips it to wide. Is this number 2 for her on the day? Her touch takes her wide. There are options in the box. Chief is Doy. Look to play to Sims. Lovely outside of the foot touch, actually. It's just a little errant touch from White. Sims from some 22 yards, but bounces relatively harmlessly in front of Hernandez, who is racking up touches here. That one headed away by Annabelle Wiley. Side Olympic with the throw. Fuller. To Sorman, off Sorman's knee. Payne looks to skip past Tompkinson, does so. Now with Fuller, White had just paused her run. And when played forward by Payne, was not in momentum to be able to reach it. Hernandez slices a little up towards the middle of the park. Lucy Foot. Jasmine White back to Foot. 1-2. White made the run down the wing. Foot couldn't get it back to her. Emmett has Abby White inside. White calm. Emmett in. A lovely touch from Payne. Skips around behind Doy. And chance for Barber to play it away. Yeah, driving down the left. Not for the first time today. Into the box. White reacts quickest. Cuts it back to Payne. Just escapes her touch. Flicks off Connolly. She throws her leg at that one. Catches Lucy Foot in a terrific spot on the edge of the box for the Devonport Strikers. And Uskadoy is the one who goes to collect the ball. I dare say she'll be the one striking this. And a dangerous position for the Devonport Strikers. As the official marches the Riverside Olympic wall back the 10 yards. And all focus will be on his whistle. On Uskadoy's right foot. And a wonderful strike from Doy and a terrific save from Hernandez, scampering across her goal, diving to her right and keeping it out. Read what Doy was attempting to do there over the wall and was quick to react, alive to the danger. Used her feet well, scampered across and made the save. But for some of her quick reactions today, the scoreline could already be well out of reach for Riverside Olympic. 1-0 it remains as we move towards the quarter hour mark. Mitchell sprays it out to Emmett. Jasmine White comes in to collect. Then Payne spins away from Higgins. Once again, trying to get it to Doy. Not quite happening there. It's high in the direction of Bramall. Park wins. Park, who's played across midfield, fullback and centre-back throughout the season. Sorman. And Fuller conspired to put that one out of play. Doy, lovely touch in the direction of White, just out of her reach. White, Doy, comes through to Jasmine White on the angle. Can she shoot? Top of the 18-yard box, and again, another save. Forced. And another touch for Hernandez, who's been very busy in these first 15 minutes. This one out to Connolly. Campbell. Payne. Wiley cutting inside. And pretty agriculturally cleared away by Atkinson. Payne, yeah. Up towards Sims, now chases Barber. Doy reads Barber's back pass, and Doy has a chance to chip Hernandez, and just wide of the mark there. Oscar Doy, Hernandez scampering back to her goal mouth. Doy lined it up on the left foot, just probably couldn't get the quite direction and elevation required to trouble the goals and to give Devonport their second for the afternoon. And an important afternoon in which the Devonport Strikers look to seal their third consecutive WSL championship. And with games to spare, the line Solman. Solid defence from Holly Emmett, forcing an error from Riverside there, a throw in. Uses Wiley, who has time to pick a pass, switch play through Park. Comes back to Mitchell. Mitchell's pass forward doesn't find Campbell on different wavelengths. Now to Sims, a chance to get at Connolly. Cuts inside, no one in the midfield to look for there. Emmett making the overlapping run, not tracked by Sorman to Foot, and then just behind Emmett. Now back to Wiley. Abby White, time in midfield. Back to Wiley, has Emmett wide, if that's where she chooses. Looks inside, eventually opts to use Emmett, who can drive at Sorman. Comes back to Wiley, he's going to swing it first time. Cleared away, only as far as Foot. Then Abby White, clever ball to Emmett. This one will come across. Great touch inside. Deliver, top pass inside to Payne, who could have hit it first time, maybe should have. And in the end, it fizzles out to be a goal kick for Riverside Olympic. Sides have met on 2 previous occasions in the league this season. In round 11 here at Tassie Valley Road, Devonport Strikers ran out 6-0 winners. Oof, and a heavy tackle from Biera on Campbell. Or Campbell on Biera, as it were. On that day, Jasmine White scored 3. Lucy Foot had 1. Maddie Payne had 1. And Isabella Atkinson had 1 for Devonport Strikers, rounding out their 6. Back in round 4, and in Launceston at Riverside, the Devonport Strikers ran out 12-0 victors in a heavily one-sided affair, an early sending off for Riverside, causing that glut of goals on that day. And a terrific volley. This one's going to come straight to Jasmine White, who, to the surprise of no one, is best placed and picks off the fumble from Hernandez and nets her second. A brace for Jasmine White. And the Devonport Strikers inch closer and closer, goal by goal, minute by minute, to this 3rd consecutive WSL championship. And White's 28th for the season. She has 2 hat-tricks in the league already this season against Riverside. 1 in round 4, 1 in round 11, and here in round 18, she is 1 goal away from a hat-trick of hat-tricks. The rare occasion here, the Devonport Strikers deep in defence. Can they play their way out? Wiley chipping up the line. Well trapped by Emmett. And a well-weighted pass favours White. White can scamper in here to the box. Can she cut it back? She does. Actually well defended, but it's going to come to Foot, who thumps her strike low. Cleared away. Sorman gets it to Fidel, pinched by White, but that clearance favours Barber. And her pass up towards Campbell. Biera reads best, and Devonport have the chance to reset on the ball. Park has White. Such a composed footballer in the midfield for the Devonport Strikers, White. And a strong physical presence. Chipped up the line. Once again, White just leading her defender into the right spot so she could turn past her. Emmett. Wiley under pressure, does well to spin away. And Devonport work it out beautifully. Foot to Emmett, back to Foot. Read by Higgins. Higgins looking to get it up the line towards Bramall. Wiley comes inside. Foot now with space. Where's the run? Gets it to Payne. Back to Foot. This will favour Bramall. Edged away from it by Tully Park. Yeah, back to Park. Has Wiley. And then Emmett up the line. Doesn't quite get hold of it. Wiley limping a little. Doy. Terrific touch. Lovely play from Oscar Doy. Nice ball in from Emmett. Sims does well to win it back off Barbour there. Vieira then can carry forward, gets it to Payne in the pocket. Payne's touch a little heavy. Back to Hernandez, who clears, but his clearances all keep coming back. Devonport organised behind the ball. Park dealing with it there. Wiley. Didn't quite have the angle there and did well to get some elevation to get it towards Emmett. Wiley now Emmett. Can get it Sorman. Sorman busily tracking back, doing more running defensively against Emmett than she is attacking at the other end against Emmett. The left winger today for a nice idea from Doy, not quite right, but Emmett makes the best of it. Low into the box, flicked away. As I said earlier, 12-0 the result when these two sides met in round 4 at Riverside. Goal scorers on that day, Lucy Foote had 2, Vieira 1, Whitney Knight had 3, Holly Emmett had 1, Jazz White had 3, and Maddie Payne had 2. Beautiful ball into Doy. Hernandez scampers off the line again. And were it not for Hernandez, the score would be much more one-sided here today. He's made some critical interceptions and saves and reads as the Riverside keeper. Certainly earning her keep today. She will have easier afternoons than this season, no doubt, as Jasmine White flies forward once more. All the space in the world on the right wing. Gets it towards the near post, not quite to Doy. Now Connolly doesn't get it to Sorman. Higgins over. Making White work for her, but Abby White just down the line. Her ball to the near post. And some desperate defending from the captain there, Meg Connolly. Behind for a corner for the Devonport Strikers as we've edged past the first quarter of this game. It would have been a drinks break in the World Cup a month ago. But fortunately, local football still played as halves. Into the box. Bounces off Campbell, and another corner for the Devonport Strikers. Edging towards double figures in that category. So the Devonport Strikers sit atop the table, 48 points. They have clipped into the box. Doesn't quite get to White. Doy back to Ford. Stumps it low and can't get a strong enough hand to it. Ken Hernandez and Lucy Foote adds to her tally for the season here in the 26th minute. Laid back in a low drive, just too powerful, and gets through Hernandez into the bottom right-hand corner of the goal. And one can comfortably say now that that is all she wrote. At 3-0, it's very difficult to see Riverside Olympic coming back in this one and making a game of it. And that champagne for the Devonport Strikers can certainly be put on ice now, ready for celebration in just over an hour's time of gameplay. Park receiving it under a little bit of pressure in the box. Good solid pass from Mitchell. Mitchell clipping to Doy. Just delicate control from the chest there. And then Foote. What a ball from Lucy Foote through to Jasmine White. Couldn't quite cut past Connolly. Just a wonderful way to pass from Foote there. That's what you like to see, getting in the kind of half space, turning and sliding that ball through. Lovely stuff. Speaking of sliding the ball through there, Doy attempted to do just the same. And then a long range effort from Payne. Only just dips over the crossbar. And had Hernandez jumping and reaching. And fortunately for her, not forced to make the save on that occasion. So 3-0 the score. If you're just tuning in, Jasmine White scoring the first two in the 5th and 20th minutes, and then Lucy Ford in the 26th minute, putting the Devonport Strikers 3-0 to the good. Campbell can't bring that one under her spell. Throw in. Payne. White. Sims. Piera. Lovely football. The Devonport Strikers gets it back to Sims. Connolly driving out of defence. Her clearance bounces back off Payne. And a throw in deep in their defensive area for Riverside Olympic. Barbara will go over and take this one. This really has been the pattern of play this first half hour. Riverside Olympic deep in defence, trying to get up the pitch, but Devonport too well set up to, well controlled to allow them to do so, and just dictating the pace of the game. Able to get off their defenders, get into space, play the ball forward and make runs and just challenge the Riverside defence. Hernandez has been heroic in goals, but despite those efforts, it has been still a 3-0 scoreline within half an hour. Lovely 1-2 between Doy and White. White skipping past Connolly. Riverside defence exposed. Slides it out to Emmett. Can they make it 4? Shoots herself, Emmett. Opting to shoot from the angle. I don't know if that will well please the attackers in the box. But in such space, perhaps one can be forgiven for striking on goal there. Emmett on the score sheet last week in the 9-0 victory. And a heavy touch. Grants it to Doy, but just makes up for it. Does Tompkinson. Now Campbell. And Biera getting the better in that contest today and in that particular one there. White nearly gets to that first. Hernandez just doing enough to put White off. To Foot. Higgins has been industrious. Good bit of play there and looking up the line. That's where the run probably should have been from Bramall. And the Devonport Strikers the opportunity to reload here. Mitchell has Park. Lovely ball up the line from Park to White once again. Devonport finding that space quite easily between midfield and defence and then getting the chance to run into the box like this from White. Drives past Connolly into the box and a goal this time for Grace Sims. A brilliant pass from Park, an outstanding run from Jasmine White, and then the simplest of finishes for Grace Sims, who is again on the score sheet. 2 last week for her and another one today. So in the 30th minute, the Devonport Strikers make it 4-0, and it is becoming a little bit of a procession here at Tassie Valley Road. One anticipated that Devonport would come away today victors on this occasion, where they knew victory would give them an unassailable lead atop the championship. But 4-0 within half an hour is ominous for this Riverside team, and they've copped it up in defence. Tompkinson has, and Payne perhaps letting Riverside off the hook by shooting from 25 yards when she could have taken an extra touch or two. Chance for Riverside. That was Campbell towards Bramall. Pass back, a little bit of confusion. Mitchell deals with it. And calls from the sideline from Coach Tom Ballantyne for Devonport to his keeper to take control. Terrific run from Jasmine Wright. Reads it best. Flag offside. Yeah, Ballantyne was beseeching keeper Mitchell to take control in that situation. Whenever there's confusion between keeper and defender, it is onus on the keeper to be one taking control of those situations. This one will be Mitchell's as well. Riverside not really connecting between midfield and defence and the forward line. They are getting balls forward, but they're all being read best by Devonport, and Devonport have been first to it, and the ball just keeps coming back and back and back, and Riverside are forced further and further back. And then Devonport able to attack like this. Runs everywhere. Payne picks one and picks Emmett. Emmett, one touch into the box now. Does so off Fuller. And another corner for the Devonport Strikers. Haven't scored from a corner as yet directly, Devonport. Abby White, clearly the most dangerous option. They've played one or two short. Put others directly into the box. This one, it looks like it will come directly in to the box. This one chipped towards the back post, and it is once more Abby White. This time on target, but foiled by the safe pair of hands of Fernandez. Back heel from Bramall. Emmett, Payne. Showing a lot of space in midfield, and again, Riverside just not tight enough in the midfield areas. And a great ball there, just hitting the back of the legs of White. But Foot and Doy and White, Abby White, and Maddie Payne just being allowed a lot of space in midfield. Plays not close enough to them. Once again, Doy and White, just too much time on the ball. In behind here for White. Across the front of goal, Sims has bubble for company. Cleared away. Vieira. Ricochet. White. Vieira again. Danger building. Sims, and I think she's crossed that into her own foot and has just resulted in a simple goal kick. Sure, it was Emil Fidel prepares his halftime speech. He'll be thinking about the space being allowed the Devonport players, the time being allowed the Devonport players. Riverside have to be tighter and more aggressive. Campbell. Better, good spin from Fidel, but White stronger. Turns away, has two on her back, so we'll have to play back. Park can switch. Opts to go inside to Vieira, turned over. Might have been easier to switch through Wiley and then Emmett. Lovely weight of pass from Mitchell there to Emmett. Jasmine White spins away. One-on-one now with Connolly. And on each occasion, White has got the better here into the box. And again, defending diligently Barber there, who has been solid. Has been diligent in her tracking back and defending of Sims. And escaping out the back, Sorman watching the ball instead of watching Emmett. What a ball to the back post. Terrific ball from Emmett. It was Doy who rose highest heading into the back of her defender, and once again she'll be tasked with taking a corner. So there will be presentations immediately after the game. 4-0 the scoreline now, all but guarantees that Devonport will be presented with their championship medals and trophy after the game. So stick with us after the game to see that. Might have been a week earlier for these Devonport Strikers ladies had they not lost to Glenorchy Knights 2 weeks ago. Ball into the box. This one's difficult for Hernandez. Punches, doesn't quite get enough on it. And Lucy Foot pounces first and lashes a left-footed shot past Hernandez, left stranded on her goal line. And Foot's second for the afternoon makes it 5 in the first half for the Devonport Strikers. Foot up to 8 for the season now. Brings her level with Doy and Knight. Jasmine White still quite some distance ahead on 28. She leads the league with 28 goals. De Moraes from Launceston United with 20 is in second place. Devonport attacking again. Lovely ball from Sims to Doy. Will this be 6? A half dozen in the first half. But equal to the strike from Doy was Hernandez. Doy opting to strike into the near post, and that probably favoured Hernandez, who got 2 strong hands to it. Doy low to the near post. To the runner foot. Doy once again has foot on her outside. Doy doing it herself. And some solid defending from Sorman, forcing Doy off balance. Emmett, Wiley. Sorman jumps out, span past Wiley. Terrific play. Well, the pass doesn't quite equal the spin. Too often here, Devonport finding it too simple to retain possession at the back. Lovely from the Devonport strikers again. White to Doy to Emmett, who is cut off by Connolly. Emmett and Connolly. Connolly does well, wins the throw. Connolly, the captain, getting through a bit of work here today. Deployed in a more midfield defensive position this week. He's the leading scorer for Riverside this year. Abby White now with a chance. Top of the 18-yard box. Payne must score and does. It is a half dozen for the Devonport strikers in the first half. This time, Maddie Payne back on the score sheet. And she has scored in both games against Riverside Olympic prior to this one. And now she makes this the 3rd game this season where she has scored against Riverside. And her 4th goal against Riverside this season. And the procession continues for the Devonport strikers. I mentioned earlier that the Devonport strikers scored 12 in round 4 against Riverside. There was a sending off that day, which did make it difficult for Riverside, but unless Riverside can find a way to stem the flow here, it's going to be more. Just over 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Can Devonport make it 7? The shot from just outside the 18-yard box from Sims, comfortably collected by Hernandez. This one favours Emmett. Can't quite keep that one in play, Emmett. Up the line from Foot to White to Doy. Great pass into Sims. Great run from White. Can't quite get the right angle to get it to her though, Sims. Now Emmett has it. A touch and deliver. Opts to eat up the space. Sorman not closing down the space, but a good ball into the box towards the penalty spot. Touched away. Fidel bounces it off Campbell. Sticking to her gun still. In defence was Barber. And a chance here for the Riverside Olympic. Released is Higgins. Bramwell making the run forward. Has to chip it to her. And just a little heavy the pass. And Bramwell wasn't really necessarily sprinting forward with intent to get the ball back. And what could have been a good opportunity in a 2-on-1 there fizzled out as Devonport got numbers back. Might have been enough to give Riverside just enough confidence to stick at it today. It's hard in a team when you're being beaten soundly to continue to push, to press, to tackle, to run as your energy and confidence deflates. It just makes it all that easier for the opposition to continue to run the goals in, as Devonport will try to do here. A good run from Foot. Oof. Doesn't quite get the ball, but that was enough to confuse the defender. White brought down heavily by Higgins. I don't know if there was any malice in it, but that was a heavy tackle and could easily be a slice of cheese. As White had skipped past her and Higgins just cutting out White's legs from underneath her. Doy already had a shot from out at the 18-yard box, around the same distance out from the other side, which favoured her as a right footer in this free kick. And that occasion, Hernandez forced to scamper over and save. Ken Doy forced to save again. This time Doy puts it over the bar. Hernandez not called upon. 6-0 it remains. Final few minutes of the first half here at Tassie Care Valley Road. This round 18 fixture between the Devonport Strikers and Riverside Olympic. Devonport sitting atop the table on 48 points, the goal difference of 71. Riverside, the rock bottom in 8th. 2 points on the season. Both draws against nearby rivals, Launceston City, in rounds 2 and 9. A 0-0 draw in round 2 and a 3-3 draw in round 9. The 2 points the Riverside have earned this season by getting those draws with Launceston City. Driving down the wing, the centre back here, Connolly. Riverside forward into a dangerous position. Mitchell calls Park out of it and collects. Devonport a chance to run the other way. Can they counter-attack here? Devonport, space left behind. Doy can turn. Just a touch heavy wide, and Hernandez playing at the top of her box. Well played. So Riverside with a minus 77 in goal difference. So in terms of goal difference, some 148 goals between the two sides and 46 points on the table between them. So always likely to be a lopsided affair today, and that has come to fruition with this 6-0 lead the Devonport Strikers have earned. And perhaps if not for Hernandez and goals and some last-ditch defending from the Riverside backline, it could be more. Mitchell. Doy, hands in the back from Connolly, no whistle. Foot has Emmett outside of her, uses that. Sorman forced to track back again, but Emmett beats it to a good ball into the box, just behind Sims. Has Payne there, can Payne add a second. She has 4 against Riverside this year already. Fancy feet. Riverside gets set up in front of her, so she can't get a strike wave. Yeah, dancing past Campbell, gets it to Sims. Sims to the top, once more to Payne, who dummies to nobody in particular, and Riverside can come the opposite direction, and Sorman just kicking it out of play. Strange choice. That one goes through White's legs. Throw into Doy. Emmett up the line to Foot, and just hitting that a little inside out, Emmett, and that one out for throw in for Riverside. Sorman offering, continues to work hard. Sorman. And if Devonport Strikers throw, linesman deems the ball to have gone in from the throw and then spun back out. Doy making the run down the line, so Emmett heads that way. Lovely touch on the outside of the right, and then passes back to Wyatt, who's tackled after she passes it into the box. Hernandez with it. Riverside can run the other way. Not able to bring it under her spell was Tompkinson. Vieira then. Payne, Sims. Only White in the box. Doy inside, as is Payne. Payne, can she get a strike away? Dances past 2, past 3. Doesn't hit it and towed away from her. Emmett, a full-blooded sprint in the first minute of added time in the first half to get to that one and keep it in. At 6-0, didn't really need to, but just shows why this Devonport Strikers women's team are who they are. Inside, is it 7? No. Cleared away as we move into the second minute of added time here. All eyes on the official, and he will bring play to an end here in the first half. And the first half finishes a dominant 6-0 by the Devonport Strikers. Jasmine White scoring the first 2 in the 5th and 20th minutes. Lucy Foot in the 26th. Sims on the half-hour mark. Lucy Foot with her second in the 37th minute, and Maddie Payne in the 39th, rounding out that half dozen for the Devonport Strikers in that first half. And the Devonport Strikers guaranteed now that they will, at the end of this game, be presented with the WSL Championship trophy and medals, as they will have an unassailable lead atop the ladder. We still have another 45 minutes to go through first. Can Riverside Olympic respond? Can Devonport put their foot down on the pedal? We will find out. We will see you in 15 minutes' time.
We've made some new hires. Ooh.
Introducing Macca's Korean Barbecue Dunk Range.
Ba-da-ba-ba.
All right, welcome back to Valley Road. We're not too far away from getting back underway in this round 18 Women's Super League in Football Tasmania fixture. Devonport women are out on the field. Quick glance around suggests there haven't been any changes made at the break. Just to wait. Riverside to take the pitch. Evidently, a few more problems for Emile Fidel, the Riverside Olympic coach, to solve than there was for Tom Ballantyne to solve at the half-time break. A 6-0 lead. 2 to Jasmine White, 2 to Lucy Foote, 1 for Sims and 1 for Payne. An unassailable lead. And it looks like the linesman has been given the job to go and get the Riverside Olympic women out of the dugouts. And here they come. So just 45 minutes now between the Devonport Strikers and a third consecutive WSL championship. So the final Riverside players take the pitch. They run into position. And will be underway shortly, this round 18 fixture between the Devonport Strikers and Riverside Olympic at Tassie Care Valley Road in the Women's Super League. Welcome back to this Football Tasmania coverage. I'm Camille Douglas, bringing you all the action here from the second half. What changes have been wrought? What changes have been made? Can Riverside do anything to stem the flow of the tide here? We will find out. Lucy Foote dinking it up towards Jasmine White gets us underway. Ascadori races over to take a throw to White. Touches to Payne. Is this number 7? Payne. Hernandez sharply off her line to the feet of Payne. The hardest thing goalkeepers can do, many would argue, to run out at the feet of the attacker and dive at the feet. It requires a certain technical skill of timing, but also courage and bravery, and Hernandez displaying both of those there. Vieira to Payne. Lovely turn around Tompkinson. Payne sharply to Sims, who looked to get it back to Payne. Played back from Barber to Hernandez. Touch a little heavy from Park. Bramwell made to chase, but Wiley best placed. Back to the keeper in Mitchell. Hasn't had a save to make today. White. Foote. Unleashes a pass that puts White in. White one-on-one, then a chance to dance at Connolly, but the skipper does well. Meg Connolly solid in defence. Emmett now on the right wing. Into Jazz White. Once again, the skipper there to tidy up. And Holly Emmett seems to have spent more time in the attacking third than she has in her defensive half. In this game, constantly overlapping and challenging the Riverside Olympic defenders. Short corner taken here. Dory into the box. Hernandez across the front of Sims. And then Bramwell set a task. Pierre has Mitchell back and will use her. And then Park on the spread. Park being pressed by Campbell. Has Wiley. Sims is wide. Will use Park. Sims can offer feet. Does that. Sims to Payne. Skips inside Tompkinson. Payne enjoying space and time and has grass in front of her. Can shoot from here and does. And just slices across it. Puts it wide of the left upright of Hernandez. Hernandez grateful to see that one fly past. Hernandez get this one out to Campbell. Campbell with a chance now. Campbell plays it into the grass. That's where Bramwell needed to be, but she was on the other side of the pitch and caught a bit unawares by the switch of play from Hernandez, and now Devonport can come the other way. Doy, what a touch. Driven at her and on the volley from Wiley, and just drew it down like it was nothing. Clearance out. White takes. Foot. Has Emmett. Cuts back. Now has Emmett a chance to deliver. Into the box. Doy reads it best. Look to flick. Out of play by either Tompkinson or Connolly. But it will be another corner for the Devonport Strikers. They took their first one this half as a short corner. Looks like they might opt for the same again. White has come across for Doy. Higgins slowly comes out to shut that down. Does so with no real intent, so they go short. White drives to the near post. And Wiley jumps over the prone Hernandez after she gathered that cross. Oh, lovely touch from Bramwell. And then gets it out to Campbell. But Park does well. Shields it strongly. Gets it back to Biera. Good support. And Devonport have been excellent at that today. Getting numbers in support. Always with 2 or 3 options on the ball. White gets it back to Park. And Sims shows her back. Maybe could have made it a bit easier on Park by offering feet there. And behind play, Campbell down her haunches, a little exhausted. And the referees stop play. Maybe holding her head, so maybe it is a bit of a concussion concern, a head knock concern. So we have stopped play here in the 5th minute. See how long addressing this issue takes. No aid has come for Campbell as yet. Getting stretched by her teammate. And finally we have some medical aid on the pitch for Campbell. And Campbell up and walking is a good sign. Only the one substitution option today on the bench for Riverside Olympic in Emile Fidel, so can't really afford to lose any players and be forced to use that substitute when not desired. Ball comes short from Biera. Read best by Tompkinson to Park as Biera then drops off herself to provide that option. 2 short options between Sim and Payne. Now the option in behind from Sims. And Tompkinson again laying the tackle. White, Payne was there at feet now. It gets to Sims. Spins away from Connolly at the back. Is this 7? Oh, Doy couldn't provide the finishing touch from the cross from Sims. And pinched away from foot by Higgins. You just wonder if this is one of those games where after a dominant 6-0 performance in the first half, Devonport just shift back one gear and let Riverside off the hook instead of driving it home. And ball put into space for Riverside. Get all the time in the world to run back and collect. Ball into the feet of Payne, has foot short, and Payne, it's ball to foot, then foot, looking forward to Sims. Still a little under hit. Payne running the show. Oh, a lovely idea. It will work out as Sims comes to collect. Then Doy. Doy can't shoot from range, but has Emmett all by herself. Emmett, can she drive this one into the box? And once again, Connolly. Solid in defence at the back, Meg. And another corner for the Devonport Strikers. Been taking them short so far this half. 2 balls on the pitch. Damon Burley behind the goals, doing his best match manager work. Ball into the box. Hernandez does well with the punching away with the fist of wire, but only comes to Payne. Her low strike is turned away then to Park, whose gentle effort was gratefully gathered by Hernandez. And then Park right back in defence. Wiley with time. She'll get it back. Has Emmett wide. Opts to use her. Emmett then has White down the line and gets it to her. White with Connolly. Perhaps seen to have been put back in this second half to deal specifically with the danger of White. Emmett slows it down in the box. Gets it to Doy. Doy still with the ball. Back to White. It's a foot. Then gets it to White. Lovely touch. Higgins now coming the other direction. And run out of play by Sorman. Coming up toward into the 10th minute now of this second half. And no real save has been forced necessarily by Hernandez this half. Here's White once more. Into the box to Sims. Doesn't get it past the defence there of Barber. And up the line, Vieira. She can take a touch and bring it the other way. Pressure not coming from Campbell, so he's able to carry it as she likes. Sims. Cuts inside. Now the strike from her. Or takes another touch. Higgins goes down on the edge of the box, holds her ankle. Payne. Can't get a shot away once again. Connolly doing the business in defence. Connolly switching into the back, it looks like, for Tomkinson in this second half. Switch between those two, and certainly Connolly has been busy. Near post, Wiley. Wyatt, surely, and it is a hat-trick of hat-tricks for Jasmine Wyatt. Her third today, her third hat-trick this season against the Riverside Olympic team. One in round 4, one in round 11, and now another one in round 18, brings her goal tally for the season to a walloping 29. The superstar of this Devonport Strikers team this season and the superstar of the competition, and will be, one would imagine, the Golden Boot winner and quite possibly the league best and fairest upon her return to Devonport. Has enjoyed a wonderful season. 2023, White did the double regarding the Golden Boot and best and fairest. But then in 2024 was Whitney Knight who did the double, Devonport player. 2025 it was Driving into the box here is White. Can it be another? Think now from Doy. This will be cleared away by Connolly. Clears into grass. Great clearance from Connolly in the direction of Campbell. In 2025, it was Oscar Doy who was the Golden Boot and best and fairest. And now in 2026, it will be Jasmine White. Again, one would think. Strong defence from Barber on Vieira. Although in 2023, I should add, it was with South Hobart that Jasmine White won. Golden Boot and best and fairest. Foot. Emmett. Doy. White. Nearly number 4. I'm going to say it was the 56th minute that White scored her third of the afternoon. Can it be 4? Great volley! Ooh, just over the crossbar. Got hold of that pretty well. Just a little bit too much elevation, maybe not getting the knee and body over it enough. And it was wide of Hernandez's goal. That would have been the most spectacular goal of the afternoon so far. Bounces off Campbell. Park. Vieira. Foot. White with a wonderful run and a lovely weight of pass. Hernandez out heroically to the feet of White, just doing enough. 7-0 a scoreline as we trickle towards the hour mark. The Devonport Strikers, half an hour from celebrating their third consecutive league victory. They've won 3 consecutive statewide cups, and this will make this a hat-trick of leagues as well. What a day of hat-tricks for Jasmine White. A hat-trick of hat-tricks against Riverside, and it will be a hat-trick of championships for the Devonport Strikers. Hernandez. Storman ducks under that one. It will be throw in for Devonport, just behind the halfway line. Holly Emmett to take. Emmett to Wiley. Into the feet of Foot. And then Abby White now with a chance to carry the ball. A strong run. Gets it to Payne. Gets it back and just leaves it behind when the goal was at her beckoning. Vieira can strike them and does. Hernandez equal to it. And White just always the first to react. And on that occasion, Hernandez held secure. Bramall loses out to White, who goes over, earns a free kick. The official really hasn't had much in the way of work to do today, as to blow his whistle vanishingly a few times. Mitchell, a long way from goals to take that one. Just bounces in front of Hernandez. Long. Yeah. Back to Park. Then Wiley has Emmett wider. Has Doy defeated if Doy wants it. Doy does. Wiley made it a little tricky for her with the height of the pass. Storman cannot keep it in play. Doy, Emmett to the run of Foot, just out of her grasp. Ooh, lovely turn from Higgins. Beats 2 Devonport players, but her pass bounces twice off Emmett. Appeals for a handball, won't get it. Lovely from Doy. Perhaps the most skillful of this terrific Devonport Strikers team. A wonderful player to watch, Oscar Doy. Tully Park into the feet of Doy. Just the way she shifts her weight, effortless, into Sims. This will be number 8. No, Tosa struck straight at Hernandez, but was flattened after she struck it. And referee will stop play again. All this time will be added on at the end. Meg Connolly. Looks like she came off second best after that heavy challenge on Sims. Sims looked all but certain there to be putting in an 8th for the Devonport Strikers and her second of the day, which would be her 8th of the season in the league. She has a few cup goals to her name as well. Up the line, Campbell, Vieira, White, triangles, Doy has Higgins continuing to battle away in the midfield for Riverside. Has been one of their better players on the day, along with Meg Connolly, the captain. Campbell, who has grown into the game. Doy. Payne. Looked to have touched the ball there with her hands. Play allowed to go on. No whistle. Chance of Devonport. The seas part. But Connolly, once again, stout in defence. And a nice idea in the pass there from Tompkinson. Barber gets it up towards Campbell. Sims with White inside. What a pass from Abby White to Vieira. Beautifully weighted. Can she keep it in play? She does. Cuts it back to the 6-yard box. No one there. And Connolly clears, but not out of danger yet. Sims has Doy short. Has Park, who rolls into the midfield. Perfect touch out in front of her. Then to Payne. Payne back to Park just behind her, but favoured Doy. Doy, no width here on the right-hand side, so Payne will have to try herself. Emmett. Such a solid Devonport backline. Foot spins away. Oof, what a trap by Maddie Payne. Maddie Payne now. The goal opens up for her. Strike. Hernandez equal to it. Another one. And this one wide. Goalmouth action aplenty today. The neutral supporter tuning in. This one has seen no shortage of opportunities on the Riverside Olympic goal, coming as frequently as they have. 7 goals to the Devonport Strikers' name, past the hour mark now. It was 20 minutes into the first half before Devonport got their second, so the handball there. So it is not as if Devonport have necessarily slowed down their pace. One would argue, given the rate of goals in the first half, they are due. Can Riverside spoil Devonport's day by not allowing them to have a clean sheet? Can they get one longer into the box here and a flick on and a strike on target and make something happen? Battle for it. Ball's decent, but it's all Devonport as they head it away. And the pass thumped forward. Don't know if that will count as a strike on goal, but Mitchell traps it with her feet. Rolls it to Wiley. Pressed by Bramall. It works out to Fuller, who's going to lose out to Emmett. No, Fuller doing enough. Emmett too strong. And just misses Jasmine White with her pass. Foot goes over. Free kick. Tompkinson taking foot down. Tompkinson moving into midfield in this second half. Started at centre back, has switched with Connolly, so that it is Connolly and Connolly in defence. The heart of the defence for Riverside Olympic. Free kick. Probably a bit too far out for a shot, so it is a cross. Nearly gets to Abby White, but looked like Barber did enough there just to put White off. that one from Hernandez is askew. And Devonport can come back once more at this Riverside Olympic defence. Jasmine White to Lucy Ford. Emmett overlapping. Gets it to her. She drives down the wing, touch heavy. That will go out of play. Goal kick. So as the pace of the game slows down a little bit here, a chance to reflect on the achievement of this Devonport Strikers women's team. As I mentioned, they did suffer their first defeat in nearly 3 seasons 2 weeks ago. And they did go 977 days unbeaten in league and cup. 53 consecutive league matches unbeaten. Over 6,000 estimated unbeaten playing minutes. 70 matches across all competitions. White just not quite able to get to that one. Retrieves it. Then Biera has the feet for Sims. White on the wing, an unusual position. She finds herself, but a good chance here to get it back from Biera. She does. Options in the box. White is best placed. It'll be number 4, but a touch takes the ball wide of goals. It looked like it's going to be another for the Devonport Strikers. Beautiful build-up play, and just not quite able to provide the finishing touch. And substitution for Riverside Olympic, their sole substitution they're able to make today, just the one substitute on the bench. Bramwell making way for Blanche. And Blanche coming out to the right wing, and Campbell switching centrally. Fidel losing out there to White. To Sims, not in an offside position. Tracking back. And doing enough there was Barber. And Maddie Payne, who's been pulling the strings in midfield all day, is making way for the Devonport Strikers. So substitute for Devonport. And EJ Sullivan coming in onto the pitch. This might require a few shifts. Looks like Park is going to go to midfield. Sims drives into the box. Can she get a strike away? She's well tracked by Connolly. Now she cuts back. Can she fire this time? And it was Meg Connolly who got the block and the volley. It's wide from Emmett. So it looks like Sullivan has gone into defence and Park has gone into midfield. So with Payne departing. Lovely touch from White. Great play from White and Foot. That one bounces off Doy's shin. Play stopped. Remember, drop ball is something. There's a drop ball. Riverside kick it away. Abby White, first and strongest to it. Just out of the reach of Doy, but stuck under the feet of Barber. Doy can come the other way. She strikes from range and gets under that one, the pitching wedge when she needed the 3 wood. But Doy certainly capable of striking from that range, just not quite getting that one right. Playing short, as is common practice these days. Certainly not 20 years ago with the arrival of Pep Guardiola. It's the Premier League. Began to change the way that everyone played everywhere. Grace Sims galloping down the left wing. This one to Foot. She spins. And Hannah Connolly on that occasion. Barber in to the feet of Blanche. Comes to Fidel. Back to the skipper, Meg Connolly. She dinks it up the line. No one home. 20 minutes remain, just under 20 minutes in this round 18 fixture. 7-0 the score remains. Just the one goal in the second half for the Devonport Strikers after running in 6 in the first half. A hat-trick for Jasmine White, 2 for Lucy Foote, and 1 for Sims and 1 for Maddie Payne. Abby White driving forward, gets it inside to Foote. Great touch, one more to White. Will it be number 4? No. On the quality of chances, perhaps White could have had 5 today. And that one, she just tried to place in the bottom corner and just cut across it a little too much. Park. Oof. Park does well. Now to Jazz White. Joy making a run into the box. Sims at the back post. Foot to the penalty spot. That's where it goes. Cleared away. Abby White's. That touch is heavy and she knows she won't be able to get it. Biera. As she drives. She can strike from this range too. Opts to play it wide to Sims. Who has to bring it back. Abby White. Oof. To Biera. Just composed, patient play at the box here. Not much width on the right-hand side, so it's pretty narrow. And Emmett turns it over. It does come to Biera, though. Blanche's touch was heavy. Then Sims manages to keep the ball within the rectangle. Great from Sims. Biera now skips past Connolly. Gets it into the box, but Hernandez reads the cross. Good physical play from Connolly, making the delivery hard for Biera. Wiley. Park. Oof. Pass goes backwards. There from Solomon, and now it's with Uskadoy, Lucy Foote, Jasmine White. Towed away, Abby White. Gets it out to Emmett. Her touch takes her past her immediate defender. Cross comes shot. In to the safe pair of hands that is Hernandez in goals for Riverside. Despite having conceded 7 today, Hernandez has been heroic at times. In many of those goals, there was little she could do about it. Longer throw straight into the back of Doy. A little clumsy was Tompkinson. But she has put herself about in the second half, Tompkinson, in this deployed in the defensive midfield role. But Devonport continuing to control the ball in midfield through Doy and Foote and Park and Abby White. Fizzed across from Uskadoy. It comes down to Jasmine White, still within the penalty area. White skips past 1. Past 2. No. Meg Connolly equal to the task. And Park forced to retrieve the ball. Gets it to Wiley. Higgins forcing her to rush her past just a little. And back to Hernandez. Brave and patient was Hernandez. Great tackle from Holly Emmett. Good, strong football. And Park being grasped and pulled by Solomon and earns a free kick. Wiley to take this one. Takes it early. They weren't set. Falls to Abby White. Then to Jasmine White. Then to Uskadoy. Surely. Devonport knocking on the door here for an 8th. No one home just yet. And Higgins kicking the ball away. Just giving a talking to from the official. No slice of cheese produced. Haven't had a slice of cheese in this fixture as yet. Once again to Foote. White. Doy. Doy to Abby White. Is this her chance? Skips inside. Surely. And it is an 8th. Abby White, her first of the afternoon. And the Devonport second of this second half. Abby White's had a terrific day in midfield for Devonport and capping it off with a comfortable finish there a composed finish. Had two players with her, drove into the box and just forced them the wrong way. Paused, cut back to her right foot and dispatched with aplomb past a hapless Hernandez. And 8 now for the Devonport Strikers. So in the 77th minute, Devonport make it 8. Inching towards double figures. Sims does well to win it back off Barber. Gets it to Park. Emmett past her. Foot can turn in the half space. Toes it away to Sims. It will be 9. Hernandez, what a save. Sticks her right leg out and keeps Sims out. Sims looked to have her second there, but Hernandez with a super reaction save. I think that's her best save of the day. Perhaps along with her great save from the Uskadoy free kick in the first half. And the cross from Vieira, not on target on that occasion. Looks like Devonport are about to make mass substitutions here below me. Tom Ballantyne talking to 3 substitutes. Maybe even a 4th. Sullivan, Vieira. Mitchell to Wiley. Into Park. Enjoying the rolling midfield now. Forwards to White. What a pass. Doy, best favourite here. White goes over in the box after a shove. I just think the only problem there, why the referee hasn't blown his whistle for a penalty, might be that it took White a while to fall. White tried to keep her balance after getting the shove and then took 4 or 5 steps before she just couldn't keep her balance any longer and went over. And perhaps if cynically she'd gone down immediately when the shove happened, she would have earned a penalty. Nice idea from Emmett, just the shift of the hips to send the defender the wrong way, but the ball escaping from her going out of play, and we will have a number of substitutions now for the Devonport Strikers. All right, so it looks like Vieira, Foot, Park and Emmett are all making way. 4 substitutions here for the Devonport Strikers. They will send on Matthews, Smith, Matthews and Gale. So 2 different Matthews. Abby Matthews, the number 8 for the Devonport Strikers. And Gemma Matthews, the number 24 for the Devonport Strikers. So Abby Matthews, a player for left. Looks like Taylor Gale will play out of midfield. Grace Sims looks to have moved into a midfield role as well. And Abby White on the right wing now. Cuts it back to Jazz White. And her right-footed dink over Hernandez. Doesn't quite dip under the crossbar. So Gemma Matthews will play at left back and Emily Smith at right back. Abby White enjoyed a great day in midfield. Taylor Gale, her first touch. Sims. Jazz White. And Emily Smith tussling with Barber out there. Sims now in midfield to Abby White. Couldn't get it to Jasmine White. Wiley composed. Smith down to Sims who gets it. Oh, it looked like it was coming to Jasmine White in the box, but for the interception by head of Tompkinson, I think that one was. Now for another corner. Into the final 10 minutes at Tasmania Valley Road. Less than 10 minutes of regulation time remain. All that is keeping Devonport back from celebrating the third consecutive WSL Premiership is the clock. And Fidel plays it up the line. Kept in by Sullivan. Back to Matthews. Gale gives that one away. A chance to Riverside. Can they get one on the score sheet? Campbell plays it forward. No one there. Wiley. Abby White. Width here provided by Abby Matthews. I'll play from Abby Matthews. Doy has two. Loses out. Higgins. Gale getting involved. Then Doy. Gemma Matthews. Sullivan. And Smith losing out to Higgins there. Getting the ball in the direction of Campbell. Renewed energy from Campbell. And looks to play one in to the box. Bounces off Smith. Riverside Olympic throw. And Riverside venturing into their half. Their opportunities have been few and far between on an afternoon controlled by a super Devonport Strikers team. And Michaela Mitchell. Able to gather Abby Matthews. A bit of space over here in the right wing. It's going to come towards Doy and White. It's Doy and White. They can raffle it off to White. Number 4, save by Hernandez. Doy comes through and volleys, and it will be a second for Aska Doy, a 9th for the Devonport Strikers. Doy bringing her total for the season to 10, and she is given a 10 out of 10 display at Tasmania Valley Road today. So in the 83rd minute, Aska Doy adding a 9th. And the scoreline at 9 now, truly reflecting the real dominance Devonport have had today. Lovely touch from Abby Matthews. Back to Doy. Is there a hat-trick in the offing for Doy here? She releases it to Abby White, then to Jasmine White. Barber can clear. Jasmine White, endless running. Good from it. Sims to Jazz White, deflected. Corner kick. Is there a 10th? So no more substitutions remain. Every player has been emptied from the benches. Low from Doy. Wiley, Sims, cleared away by the skipper, Meg Connolly. Doy has Smith, then White. No, allows Smith to take the throw. Doy can now have it. Gets it back to Smith. Into the box, directed straight at Hernandez though. She can roll it out to Fuller, who can carry and then pick a pass. Blanche has turned her back, really needed to provide an option to feed, and then allowed Fuller to be caught by Sims, who was aggressive in the challenge. Though perhaps not unfairly. So less than 5 minutes remain in regulation. We will have a little bit of added time. We have had 2 or 3 little stoppages. I can't imagine with the scoreline at 9 that the official will play too much added time here this afternoon. I'm sure Devonport Strikers players will be keen to get into the celebrations that they have earned and deserved as soon as the final whistle blows, and I'm sure the celebrations will continue long into the night. A hat-trick of WSL premierships sealed today. They've already celebrated a hat-trick of women's state league, statewide cup victories. They enjoyed an incredible undefeated run across nearly 3 seasons, as we've already highlighted, 977 days unbeaten. They had a clean sheet run this season. They have a clean sheet today, but from the 23rd of May to the 10th of July, they went 7 games and 650 plus minutes, 49 days without conceding a goal. And problematic here for Fuller as she makes her way gingerly off the pitch. Riverside don't have another substitute, so Riverside will have to finish this with 10. All right, play set to get back underway. Riverside with 10 on the pitch. Fuller limping off gingerly. Not what we'd like to see in a game of football. Hopefully she will be okay. And not entirely sure what we are waiting for here. The referee's blown the whistle. Who's momentary confusion, just stretching out these final few minutes. And finally, Fidel comes to take the throw in. Up the line in the direction of Sorlin, puts her arm out, bounces off her. Throw in from Matthews. Only gets as far as Tompkinson, who shins it in the direction of Blanche. Gemma Matthews to Abby Matthews. Inside to the other substitute, Gale. The 3 substitutes combining. Doy, wonderful feet. Gets it out to Abby Matthews, who can run at the defence. Opts to use Gemma Matthews back. A nice curling ball into the box, but no one really making that run towards the near post. And we're into the final minute of regulation time here at Tasmania Valley Road. A slip ball through to White from Sims, a little heavy, and Hernandez once again turning play around. So all that remains is this final minute of regulation time, and whatever added minutes we have, maybe 3 or 4 given the length of stoppages. Have had a number of substitutions, a few stoppages, a number of goals. They might see that stoppage time extended. A chance for Devonport perhaps to get a 10th. We'll look forward to Jasmine White. Wiley heads it twice, and then Sullivan puts her head to it. They'll scrap for it in midfield, and comes off White, and then Smith, and now it's with Barber, who gets a chance to get forward. Bounces off Smith, who's strong. Barber was aggressive. Another play down. Cramp on this occasion. The referee doesn't have to stop play for cramp. And it's been a very disjointed final 10-15 minutes. Lots of stoppages. Substitutions, players going over. We've lost a bit of the flow of the game. And there have been some wonderful passages of play by Devonport in this game, and that's just stemmed the flow of that tide. And Riverside players have worked hard off the ball today. They haven't had a lot of it. They've had to do a lot of running, and it looks like Higgins is just the worse for wear from the workload she has carried in midfield today. We now are into added time, and looks like most of that might be eaten up here. More attention to injured players, distressed players. Devonport Strikers players moments from celebrating, from being able to enjoy the fruits of their labours. Third consecutive WSL premiership. WSL League title. All but theirs. An impressive display on the day they are crowned. The Devonport Strikers, their coronation celebration complete with 9 goals to the good. And now it is Higgins gingerly making her way off the pitch slowly. Fascinating to see how many added minutes we play. It's their time for a Devonport Strikers 10th. Round out a perfect 10 out of 10 performance. Tough day at the office for Riverside Olympic. Will have to travel back up or down the Bass Highway after being handed a significant defeat. It's been a long season for them. Hopefully, in the final few games of the season, they can pinch another point or even a victory to give them some hope going into next year. Long from Mitchell. Connolly, then Doy. Is this the moment? It's White. It's Sims. They're raffling it off. Sims can't get a foot to it. I mean, White couldn't get a foot to it. Matthews to Matthews. Gemma to Abby. Back to Gemma, back inside to Abby White. Then Abby to Abby. Matthews. Cuts past Fidel into the box. Is this it? Chested down and cleared away. Still time for the Devonport to get that 10th. Release the ball. She does. Now she can get it back and drive it. Fidel cut it into the box. White in a decent position. Here's the moment. Delivered. Can't get it past Connolly, who clears straight to Gemma Matthews. But it's going to come to Blanche, the substitute. And kicks hopefully really needed to hold the ball up, wait for support. It was all Devonport. Now Wiley off the back of Gale. The pass, though, favours Smith. Doy with a great run. Oh, I couldn't get it to her. Could Smith. Barber. Smith, White, Gale, Tompkinson. All a little scrappy. Now in the 5th minute of added time. Now Abby White. Is this the time for the 10th? Jasmine White in a great position. Maybe could have wandered into an offside position. Won't know because the play allowed to go on. And the final whistle echoes around Tassie Care Valley Road. The Devonport Strikers run out 9-0 victors. And there it is. The Devonport Strikers are champions of the Women's Super League once again. And they haven't crept across the finish line today. They've charged across it. On the afternoon when victory would guarantee the title, Devonport have produced a performance worthy of champions. Emphatic, ruthless and utterly convincing. The league wasn't won today, of course. It was won across the long weekends and months that brought them here in the difficult victories, the relentless consistency, the goals scored and the points accumulated en masse. But today's when all that work becomes silverware. There are still some games to play, but nobody can catch them now. The mathematics are settled. The race is run. The Devonport Strikers, the best team across the season, are now officially champions of Tasmania. 9-0 victors. They run out. 6 in the first half. Jasmine White in the 5th. Again in the 20th minute. Lucy Foote in the 26th. Sims on the half-hour mark. Lucy Foote scoring a second in the 37th. Maddie Payne in the 39th. Then in the second half, Jasmine White rounding out her hat-trick with a goal in the 56th minute. her third game against Riverside this season and her third hat-trick against Riverside. Abby White then scoring in the 77th minute, and Asuka Doi rounding out the performance with the 9th in the 83rd minute. Comprehensive, just like their season has been. Utterly fantastic, utterly deserving, and champions they are. Let the celebrations begin. Congratulations to the Devonport Strikers Women's Super League team. You've been watching football Tasmania coverage, this round 18 fixture in the Women's Super League between the Devonport Strikers and Riverside Olympic. I've been Camille Douglas. Thank you for tuning in.
welcome you to the presentation for the 2026 McDonald's Women's Super League Champions Trophy. We are joined today by Football Tasmania Competitions Coordinator Emma Brown and newly appointed Football Tasmania Technical Director Mr James Sherman to present the medals and trophies to the Devonport City Strikers late women's team today. Firstly, we'd like to congratulate the Strikers coach Tom Ballantyne and his entire team on an impressive season, including their third statewide cup and a well-deserved title for the third year running. Tom, would you like to come forward and say a few words?
I guess first of all, congratulations to the girls. You guys have been incredible over the last 3 years. Your achievements and everything have been outstanding. Your level of dedication, effort and enthusiasm cannot be doubted at all. Even after our little blip a couple of weeks ago, to perform in the manner you have in the last 2 games has been incredible. Richard, Brian, thank you again for your hard work and effort throughout the course of the year. Danny, Zara, unbelievable. Let's keep going. We've got to make sure we win the last couple of games. Let's not end on a damp squib.
So, I'd like to invite co-captains Lucy Cook and Michaela Mitchell to come and say a few words and present the champions medals to their team.
First of all, congrats girls. We could not be more proud of what we've accomplished the last few seasons. To make history like we have and to be a part of this squad, especially as someone that's not from here. Like, this is home, and to be able to do this with you guys has been absolutely unreal, and I'm proud of every single one of you. Thanks to our coaches, Tom, Richard, Brian, Danielle also helping out, getting us what we need to, and Zara, all the taping and the massages, like, you're keeping us on the field, so thank you. Our sponsors, league sponsors, McDonald's, as well as all of our own, Conwick, World, Face Bar, all of the major sponsors as well.
Also, I'd just like to thank FFT obviously putting on the competition. It's hard to please everyone, but we love getting out here and playing every week. And a special thank you to all our supporters. I know we've had a tough run the last few weeks, but you get out there and you watch us and you support us. So thank you very much.